This is a trade I took today in the morning in the Asian session. This is USD JPY. This is before the trade. So this is my entry, and then this is how the trade went. And I also have gold, which was a trade I took yesterday, and this is the before the entry. So we have our entry there, and this is the after. Both trades hit TP. I have a free mentorship program teaching this strategy for free. Link will be in the description. Go check it out. And I only trade the weekly template. So how does the weekly template look like? And how can you trade it yourself? It never gets easier than this. So day one, Monday, sets the high and the low of the week. Simple. So if we have Monday setting the high and the low of the week, then you can be able to look at where the high and the low of the week is. Because if we have that high there and that low there, if on Tuesday price breaks out and closes back, even it doesn't matter where price closes first. If price continues to break out or even pin the low, we extend that low, because now that becomes the new low of the week. And if it does that on Wednesday and continues lowering the low of the week, we know where the low and the high of the week, because it's the low and the high of the week that is the basic premise of the weekly template. If you can see where the high and the low of the week, then you can apply these two principles. Principle number one is called signal days, and principle number two is trading days, which is price action pattern. Now, I can promise you, you are not going to see this price action pattern, anybody talking about it. But the basic principle of the weekly template, I learned it from Stacy Buck. Now, let's go step by step. Signal days. What are signal days? A signal day to me is a failed breakout at high or low of week. Pardon my spelling. All right, simple as that. If I see a failed breakout, then that becomes my signal day. Now, and as long as you have the high and the low of the week in place and you can see it, then you can be able to identify a failed breakout. How does a failed breakout look like? For example, let's assume this is the low of the week on Tuesday. So on Tuesday sets this low of the week. On Wednesday, price breaks out, but comes and closes back inside of the range on Wednesday. So once I see this tells me that on Thursday, look for an opportunity to buy low. And as long as I've not triggered the high or the new low of the week with another failed breakout, I continue looking for buys on the next day. And this is what happened today on USD JPY. Let's break that trade down. So first things first, and you can see, well, right now what's happening. Anyway, we have the high of the week here. So the previous week, we have Monday setting the high of the week and the low of the week. Tuesday extends it. Wednesday extends it. 3 days of rise. So this is the high of the week. Thursday becomes an inside day, and then Friday breaks out and closes as a failed breakout. So what does that say about Monday? So on Friday, we have this failed breakout. So if you have a failed breakout, then on Monday, I am looking for sell high opportunity. Now, on Monday, we had this sell-off on Monday at the high of the week during the London session, back to the low of the day. But this is not a setup that I am looking for. So, as long as we've not triggered the low of the week, that means that I continue selling even on Tuesday. So today on Tuesday, in the Asian session, I am looking for a very specific setup. Principle number 2 is a price action pattern. So how does that look like? So I want to see a high and a low of the day set in place. Now, as usual, my timing window. Now today in the Asian session, I was trading between 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Yes, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. New York time. So, what does that mean? First hour, I let it set the high and the low of the session. Now, but also I am observing where is the high of the day. So, what do I want to see? I want to see if I'm selling. I want to see a pump. So it can be one candle up. I want to see a pause. And a pause might be 2 consecutive candles or 3 consecutive candles, but at least 2 consecutive red candles if I want to sell. And then I want to see an explosive move up, which is the stop hand, back to the high of the day. And then now from there, I look for my sell. I just look for the sell. I just sell after I have the breakout. The next candle, which is, if it's a red candle, that is my entry. So let's break it down. So my overall thesis is that I am selling today. Now, this is also an inside day. And inside days are very notorious for having a lot of liquidity at the high or at the low. So it's also another area where where price might come back to later. So let's look at our timing window from 8, so that's 20 to 23. And then, where is my high of the day? This is the high of the day prior to the open of my trading window. And this is the low of the day prior to the open of my trading window. Now, once I have the high and the low in place, the first hour, which ends at 21, I just let it set the high and the low of the session. I usually don't trade the first hour, but we have a pump. So this candle, this explosive one candle at 21, that's the pump. We have the pause, these 2 red candles. This is the pause. And then we have an explosive move that is a breakout. So that is the high of the day now. And then we have this breakout. And then the next candle is a hanging man. Let's call it, it's called a hanging man pin. So it's a pin. That is my entry. So once this candle closes, that's my entry. My stops a few pips above the high of the day. And then my take profit is at the low of the day. And if we look at the trade that I took, we can see where our entry is. This is the entry. Our stop is above, a few pips above the high of the day. And my take profit is at the low of the day, because this particular price action pattern is notorious for actually going back to the low of the day. Yes, and on US 30, we had the same setup form on Thursday. On Wednesday, yeah, on Thursday. So we had the low of the week set in place on Tuesday, and then we had this failed breakout on Wednesday. So we are looking for a buy setup on Thursday. Now on Thursday, this trade actually occurred in the New York session. So we have the low of the day set in place in the first hour. Now, if you look at the inverse of the pump and dump setup, it's the dump and pump setup. We have the dump, we have the pause, these two candles. We have the pause, we have the breakout, and then once this candle closed, my stops a few pips below that, and I'm looking to target the high of the day. And boom, it's the same thing. So, point being, if you understand the weekly template, then understand the signal days. It's very simple, because the only thing you're coming to look at is a very specific price action pattern. If you got value from today's video, subscribe, comment your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video.